go where the story leads you. And in this case, I had no idea it was going to have a dark conclusion.
My idea about a good idea is one that sticks around and sticks around and sticks around.
That's so true. Like, especially when you're going from the outline phase to the first draft, there's like so many changes that happen that you don't even think of in the first place. Is like, damn, like low key, everything in my outline, I kind of changed like 60% of the outline. And you just going with the flow. Cause once you get into like the details of the story, is like, that's when your story's really getting fleshed out. And it's when you really discover what the story is about. So yeah, it makes sense. Like when you go in with the flow, is like especially towards the end, it becomes very unpredictable. Or honestly, a lot of it comes in the middle, at least for me. Whereas like that portion of the story becomes like, damn, I didn't expect this to happen this way or happen that way, or I didn't expect myself to introduce this character here or there, or change the way this character acts, because like that's how changes happen, once you get into the details of the story. So yeah, few seconds in and we already got something to keep in mind.
I just look for ideas that I really enjoy, something that I really want to live with for a while, like the story about the people under the dome.
Facts. Even though this is just the intro, like he's spitting facts already. Like you just want to write stories that you enjoy. Of course, like you want others to enjoy them as well. But if you don't enjoy the, if you don't enjoy those ideas, then what's the point? Like, what's really the point of you going through the struggle, going through all the ups and downs, the drafts, the outlines, the ideas, the brainstorming, scrapping ideas, adding new ideas, the months, the years of thinking and debating on whether or not this story is good enough to be published. Like, if you're not enjoying the story entirety, like, why would you write it in the first place? So true.
I started to type up stories on an old typewriter that I had, and I started to send them to magazines, and I pounded a nail into the wall, and I'd get the rejection slips back, and I would put them on that nail, and around the time that I turned 17 or 18, the nail fell out of the wall because there were so many rejection slips on it. So I got a bigger nail. And if there's any secret that I know to success, it's if you don't succeed, get a bigger nail.
This man kept receipts. He kept receipts for all the haters, all the people that rejected him, all the. Oh man. Oh man, he's not gonna tell the truth, but let's be honest, that was motivation. He kept those receipts on purpose for motivation. Let's be real. Let's be honest, Stephen King. Let's be real. I'm on to you.
How the f do you write so many books so fast? I think, I've had a really good 6 months. I've written 3 chapters, and you've finished 3 books in that time.
Here's the thing, okay? There are books and there are books. The way that I work, I try to get out there and I try to get 6 pages a day. So with a book like End of Watch, and when I'm working, I work every day, 3-4 hours, and I try to get those 6 pages, and I try to get them fairly clean. So if the manuscript is, let's say, 360 pages long, that's basically 2 months' work. It's concentrated, but but that's assuming that it goes well.
And you do hit 6 pages a day?
I usually do.
You don't ever have a day where you sit down there and it's like constipation, and you write a sentence and you hate the sentence, and
okay.
you check your email and you wonder if you had any talent after all, and maybe you should have been a plumber. Don't you have days like
that? Yo. Yo. Yeah. Maybe you should be a plumber, Why am I doing this? Like, what the hell? Only got one word in, like there's nothing coming to my head. Like, why am I even here? Why am I writing? Like, this is not paying the bills. Like, am I even gonna make it? Yo. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. This man George been going through it. He really been projecting his whole life. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. His inner thoughts took over. Like, that's really. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, I'm just imagining that's how his thought process be like half the time. And we really just getting like the insider scoop of really. Oh my god. And I don't blame him because that's low key how I be thinking. Like that's more in line of how I be thinking during my writing process. So that's why it's so funny. Because it's so relatable. Because I go through that. Like all that debating and overthinking in my head and like, oh, let me just do this and that and like, yo, but that plumber, what the hell? Yeah.
But mostly, I try to get the 6 pages in, although entropy tries to intervene.
The whole 6 pages thing. I wish he explained how in the hell is he able to write 6 pages consistently, like you know, avoiding writer's block, like without you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about like what's his outline process like. I don't know if there's like information out there what's his outline process, but I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head, like, to get 6 pages every single day is insane, low key. Like, it's not insane, um, really, honestly, but in terms of like consistently every single day, that's really when it gets insane. Cause I don't know, just getting through the flow of things and like he said earlier, making sure it's clean, it's not like too much rough patches. Cause I don't know, for me, I get a lot of rough patches if I'm trying to do that. And like there's gonna be a lot of debating in my head, like, wait, am I really gonna keep this? Is this idea even good? Like, okay, I'm gonna keep in mind, like, I'm gonna be changing this later on. Maybe he just I think what happens is like I think Stephen King maybe he doesn't really have that like perfectionism type of gene like the rest of us do. Like maybe he just like accepts his writing the way it is for the most part and then like he kind of accepts the idea that like yeah that's going to be edited later, we're going to rewrite that later. So to him is like okay, like he accepts the fact that it's probably gonna be polished anyways later, so he able to write faster just from that alone. I don't know, I just want to know his method of writing 6 pages every day without like the constant struggle or the brain fog or like other responsibilities or just writer's block alone. Like do you experience writer's block, bro? Like come on. Like, and there's no way you enter the flow state every single day. Like, really? Like, you enter the flow state every day? Like, your brain is just on point. I gotta know your outlining process. I gotta know, like, everything, what you do, like, to write stories so fast. I gotta find, like, some type of information, an article, a video, or something, man. Seriously. But yeah. I'm really just like projecting my jealousy, same as George. That's probably what he was doing earlier too. Yeah, you go where the story leads to, man. I like where this is going.
I, I feel like you have to follow the characters and you have to follow the story where it leads. And the last thing that I want to do is to spoil a book with plot. So, I think the plot is the last resort of bad writers, as a rule. I'm a lot more interested in character and situation, and you follow it where it goes. And
So he said follow when he says go where the story leads you. He really means follow the characters and their situations. Yeah, I guess cuz like one thing I always think into my head is like is this something my characters would actually do? Like if I think about their personalities and things like that is like okay, like what are the actions my characters would do if I put them in certain scenarios? And I think I'll just let that flow into like the next scene and the scene next forward after that, like moving forward the chapters. That's an interesting concept. Like go where the story leads you. To me, that sounds like the fastest way to enter like a flow state with ideas. And it seems like he focused more on the characters and who they are, how they act, and the reaction with scenarios rather than like the plot itself and like how grand the plot is and like, oh my god, this is what's happening in the world. And interesting. Very interesting.
People will say, do you keep a notebook? And the answer is, I think a writer's notebook is the best way in the world to immortalize bad ideas. My idea about a good idea is one that sticks around and sticks around and sticks around. It's like, to me, it's like if you were to put breadcrumbs in a strainer and shake it, which is what the passage of time is for me. It's like shaking a strainer. All this stuff that's not very big and not very important just kind of dissolves and falls out. But the good stuff stays. You know, the big pieces stay.
The good ideas will stay with you. That's true. That is true. But I also noticed where, especially when you're writing a story that's complex, like let's say is involving multiple book series, and it has some complexity to it where like, book one is connected to books two and three and things like that. There's certain areas where, because this happened to me with my client, where it's like we already answered certain parts, but because we're like jumping in between books, it's like we kind of forgot that we solved that part already because we didn't write it down. And we just like thinking about it again is like we think about like a less fleshed out version of the thought process we had before, right? If you're catching what I'm saying. And that's the only reason why I think it's great to write things down, especially if you're writing like a major project. Like of course if you're writing like maybe like a singular book, maybe you don't really have to do that as much and the good ideas will stick with you. But I noticed when it's like a bigger project with like a book series, that's probably when you want to like keep ideas in mind. Because I don't know. Yes, the ideas still stick, but I think the original thought process, like the original flow you had when it appeared into your mind, is usually when it's at its best, like the best version of it. And over time, as you like remember the idea, is like you kind of remember like a lesser version, like it kind of like degrades over time. I don't know if that happens to you. I notice that happens to me. Like when I have a great idea, like when it first appears into my mind, it's like at its best, and then slowly, as I like just keep it in my mind, it slowly degrades, and it's like eventually, I still remember it, but it's not. I don't remember all the details as I did when I first thought of the idea. So it's kind of like a lesser version of itself, if you get what I'm saying. Look for ideas that you would really enjoy writing for longer periods.
I think that if you spend too much time worrying about what the audience is going to like, that they're not going to like anything that you do. I just look for ideas that I really enjoy, something that I really want to live with for a while, like the story about the people under the dome. And I get into it most of the time, and then I just have a ball. I never finished a book and felt like I'm glad that's done. I usually finish a book and say, geez, I don't want to say goodbye to these people. And if the people who read it feel the same way, then I'm really happy.
Look, you know, a lot of these
Right, right. Oh my god. If you focus too much if on other people liking your story, then like they're not gonna like it because you don't like it. You gotta find your people would be saying like you gotta find your tribe, like you gotta find the group of people who will relate to you, who connects with you. Cause like now that I'm thinking about it, like what's the point of having fans or people who enjoy your writing if it's like not really connecting with you? Like if you personally don't like this story, then they're not really like fans of you, they're only fans of the story. You get the difference? Like there's two types of fans. Like you could have fans who like your work and your art, but then there's people you could have that you can make as fans of you, like as an individual. Like they like you as a person, and your stories reflect that. So when they like your story, then you know that they will like you as a person, or you could connect with your readers because like your story is a reflection of who you are and what you like and things like that. So yeah, like that's why you don't want to really separate it as much of like, okay, this is my story. Not it's okay. Like I'm it's not really something like I'm really into, but I know people will like it because it's like maybe trendy or something like that. But like no, like then this become a disconnect, like in the long term. um it's harder to sustain that when there's like a disconnect between the art and who you are as a being, like a human. So yeah, something to think about. Get immersed in your writing process until the outside world is gone.
That's the worst, is people will say, where do you get your ideas? I don't know where I get them. And if I did, man, would I tell you? I mean, Jesus, they've been good to me.
That's a fact. Where do people originally get their ideas? Like, I don't know where I got my story ideas from. I don't really know. Like, it just appeared in my brain one day. Like a plot line, a character, like something just appeared in my brain. I was thinking, that could be interesting. Like, okay, there has been times where like it stems from maybe a story I was reading or a show I was watching. And I was like, if they did it this way, that would be interesting. And then they could start off from there. But for the most part, it just sometimes it's just out of the blue. Like, that a lot of times, honestly, like it is out of the blue, but it always stems from somewhere. Like it stems from your experiences, your hobbies, what you enjoy. It's kind of like accumulation, like all together. It comes together to an idea into your mind. It just appears one day, right? Like it's not like it is completely out of nowhere. Like usually is accumulation of like all the events in your life or the things you've seen. It all comes together and it forms that idea. So that's probably the case. Now that I think about it too, like I tend to say like what if a lot when it comes to ideas when it comes to when I'm reading stories or books and watching shows. Is like, okay, what if they did it this way? And like sometimes one little change could like change the whole premise and that could start up a new idea for a story. So yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. Like I'm now that I think about it too, like one of my stories is like literally because I thought of like the opposite of what I seen like a trendy trope is like, and that's kind of what started my idea in the first place. So yeah, other than that is like it just appear one day out of the blue like a shooting star.
But there's a place where you have to walk away from it because it's so kind of addictive. That otherwise, you might just sit there and skip meals and just be lost in that world. And you wouldn't want to do that because that's sort of the way crazy people are in institutions. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, what a great video. Okay, yeah, I hope you enjoy. If you want to work with me with your outline to prepare for your first draft, you can click the link down below, watch a video here or there to see the process of how it works, how I give suggestions, questions, my reactions to your outline, your characters, your setting, everything like that. And then we could discuss that on a call. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.